Rangers' European run might not be as straightforward as you think, so let's look at some of our potential opponents.
Penalty to Rangers.
Rangers now know how their European campaign will begin, but the route after that can get a bit confusing, so I'm going to simplify everything: who Rangers are playing, which competition they could end up in, the important dates and which teams are already waiting for them in the Europa League and Conference League playoffs. Rangers will begin against Polish side Jagiellonia Białystok. The first leg will be played in Poland on Thursday the 6th of August, with the return match at Ibrox 1 week later on Thursday the 13th of August. The most important thing to understand is that Rangers can't be knocked out of Europe completely in this round. If Rangers win, they'll reach the Europa League playoff. If they lose, they'll drop into the Conference League playoff. So let's begin with the best case scenario. Rangers beat Jagiellonia and move into the Europa League playoff round. The playoff draw will take place on Monday the 3rd of August. Before Rangers have even played the first leg against Jagiellonia, the playoff matches will then take place on Thursday the 20th and Thursday the 27th of August. The winner of Rangers against Jagiellonia is currently projected to be seeded in the Europa League playoff draw. That should theoretically give Rangers a more favourable opponent. However, UEFA will split the clubs into smaller groups before the draw. So even though we can identify several possible opponents already, Rangers won't be able to draw every unseeded club on the complete list. There's 5 clubs already guaranteed a place in the Europa League playoff round. They are Viktoria Plzeň from the Czech Republic, St Truiden from Belgium, Trabzonspor from Turkey, OFI Crete from Greece and Lillestrøm from Norway. Viktoria Plzeň are currently projected to be seeded, meaning Rangers shouldn't be able to face them if both clubs remain on the seeded side. There will also be several other possible opponents emerging from the earlier Europa League and Champions League qualifying rounds. Some places in the draw will therefore be represented by the winner or loser of a tie that hasn't been completed when the playoff draw takes place. The full list will become clearer after the earlier qualifiers, and Rangers' exact shortlist will only be confirmed when UEFA announces the smaller draw groups shortly before the draw takes place. If Rangers beat Jagiellonia and then win the Europa League playoff, they'll qualify for the Europa League. However, even if they lose that playoff, they'll still drop directly into the Conference League. That means beating Jagiellonia guarantees Rangers league phase European football. The only question after that would be whether they're playing in the Europa League or the Conference League. Now, let's look at the more dangerous route. If Rangers lose against Jagiellonia, they'll drop directly into the Conference League playoff. Those matches will also take place on the 20th and 27th of August. Under the current projected seedings, the loser of Rangers against Jagiellonia should still be placed on the seeded side of the Conference League playoff draw. There's also 5 clubs already guaranteed a place in the Conference League playoff. They are Atalanta from Italy, Brighton from England, Freiburg from Germany, Monaco from France and Getafe from Spain. Atalanta, Brighton, Freiburg and Monaco are currently projected to be seeded, so Rangers shouldn't be able to face any of those 4. Getafe are currently projected to be unseeded. That makes them the only confirmed direct Conference League playoff entrant Rangers could potentially face. However, just like the Europa League route, there'll be many more potential opponents coming through the earlier qualifying rounds. The exact shortlist will only become clear once UEFA confirms the draw groups. This is the route Rangers really need to avoid. If Rangers lose against Jagiellonia and then lose the Conference League playoff, they'll be out of Europe completely before the end of August. But if they win the Conference League playoff, they'll qualify for the Conference League. So Rangers will have one final opportunity even if they lose their opening European tie. So the main target is simple: beat Jagiellonia and Rangers are guaranteed league phase European football. Lose and they'll be left with one final, potentially season-defining Conference League qualifier. We know several of the clubs already waiting in both playoff rounds, but Rangers' exact potential opponent lists won't be confirmed until UEFA announces the smaller groups before the draw.